This is a plug for you to subscribe to the Raging Moderates YouTube channel. We have Ed Elson. Look at that cutie. He's here. We're going to be talking about some economic stuff, a little war stuff too. Anyway, hope you're enjoying the content, and please subscribe. Like and subscribe. All the positive things. Welcome to Raging Moderates. I'm Jessica Tarlov, and today the Prof G universe collides again. I have Ed Elson from the Prof G Markets podcast with me. Ed, it's so good to have you back.
Great to be here. Yeah, thank you for having me. I love the collision of worlds.
I know.
Always
I feel
happy.
like we've got to. Oh, actually, I didn't read the comments on when I went on Markets, so maybe they all hated me. But at least the Raging Moderates people are happy when you show up.
People love you. In fact, what people are saying is that we're seeing a lot of sort of incestuous corporate relationships in AI right now, these circular deals. So people are saying that we're kind of devolving into that. This is sort of the circular host economy where we're all kind of trading on each other's products and each other's programs. So that was their take.
That makes it actually sound a lot smarter than than it actually is, or Scott's plan for Prof G media domination, which we're just all pawns in it.
Exactly. This is the 4D chess in action. We're taking over.
I think it's 8D chess. There are so many stories that I wanted to cover with you. I figured we go a little rapid fire, if that's cool with you.
Let's do it.
Okay, first stop on this, the Saudi Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, was at the White House, which was a pretty big deal. Trump very defensive of MBS, attacking reporters who dared to ask about the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, which you could hear the bone saw going through him.
As far as this gentleman is concerned, he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
But this ended up rekindling the love affair between Elon Musk and Trump. And now it's being reported that Elon Musk and Jensen Huang are going to talk AI at the U.S.-Saudi Investment Forum, because the end game is always, let's make some more money. What did you make of MBS's visit to the White House and whatever may happen between America and Saudi in the future monetarily?
Yeah. Well, the comments from Trump about Khashoggi were pretty incredible and striking. He said, quote, "things happen." That was his sort of response, or his way of cleaning up the fact that the Saudi government murdered Jamal Khashoggi. And then he said, a lot of people don't like Jamal Khashoggi, as if like, oh, so that makes it fine. But we can sort of sweep all of that way to the side. I mean, there was a lot of fanfare for this event. He had the 21-gun salute. He had the Marine Corps band. He had the fighter jets come and fly by. The reason he does this is quite simple. Trump loves rich people. And this was basically a giant rich people party. I mean, MBS is like the physical embodiment of extreme, almost offensive levels of wealth. It's probably him versus Putin. Each of them get a lot of fanfare when they arrive. And so in step with that, he basically had a dinner for rich people. So Elon Musk was there. You mentioned Jensen Huang, Tim Cook, Michael Dell, all of the billionaires. Cristiano Ronaldo was there, which was interesting. So this was basically a dinner for rich people. In terms of anything happening of consequence, I mean, the number people are talking about is this $1 trillion number. There was this exchange where Trump says, oh, so you're going to invest how much in us? And Mohammed bin Salman says, oh, we're going to invest $1 trillion. So that's the number that he's going to tout and that is going to make the headlines. What you have to remember, though, is that number doesn't really mean anything, because we heard that number a few months ago. In the same context, we had this meeting where Trump goes to Saudi Arabia and they say, oh, Saudi Arabia's going to invest $1 trillion into America. Then they say, oh, no, actually, it's going to be 300 billion. Oh, no, actually, it's going to be 600 billion. So now they've decided to amend it again. And now the number has gone from 600 billion to $1 trillion. Either way, there's no paperwork here. There are no contracts. Nothing gets signed. We keep on seeing this with Trump, where he'll make some big announcement. He loves the headline. I'm calling it the headline economy. But ultimately, the deals never materialize. We saw it with Saudi Arabia. We saw it with Japan. We saw it with Europe. Is it going to be the same thing?
Interesting if it's all just a smokescreen for normalizing relations to do private deals versus deals that'll necessarily benefit the United States, because we have seen the contrast between those two things also with Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff in the region. I want to head over to the war in Ukraine. Axios is reporting that the White House is drafting plans to end the war. They're working only at this point with the Russians, though. There are 28 points to the plan, 4 general buckets: peace in Ukraine, security guarantees, security in Europe, and future of U.S. relations with Russia. Should note, Ukraine is not at the table for the drafting of this plan. What are your thoughts?
So I'm not a geopolitical analyst. I don't cover this that closely.
It's rapid fire.
But it's rapid fire. So that's how we're doing it. So my view is I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, it's the same thing. It's my same response to what we saw with Saudi Arabia. Oh, you're going to invest $1 trillion? Okay, let's see the money. Let's see the investment. We haven't seen it yet. They said it in July. They're saying it again. We're now at November. And it's basically just a headline. It's basically just a press release. We've kind of seen it with Israel and Palestine. We've seen a lot of headlines. I mean, I keep on reading headlines saying the war is over or the war is going to be over. Everything's going to be solved. Everything's going to be great. We see it in the economy all the time. Oh, prices are coming down. Tariffs have fixed America. This is just another headline to me. I don't believe it, because this has happened so many times where you say something exciting. I mean, it would be great if the war in Ukraine ended. Perhaps it's going to happen. I don't know. But there's no evidence to me, at least when we look at the past policies of Trump, that these things ever actually materialize. He just makes an announcement, and then we're all supposed to celebrate before anything actually happens.
Yeah, I think also the impact on the defense contractor industry is always a key component of this. So there's the argument that we want the war to end because we want the Ukrainians to have their country back. And we've always kind of kept them like teetering on the edge of giving them just enough to be able to do it. And the fact that we have, a defense business in this country that is beating the table saying, like, we can supply them with this stuff, just pay us for it. But rapid fire, we're moving on.
Okay.
Jobs numbers.
Yep.
Bad.
Yep.
Again. So over the course of the year, 1.1 million jobs have been lost. We only have the ADP numbers. The BLS, I don't know if we'll ever see them again or if we'll ever be able to trust the report. Some people are saying that we're in recession territory with these kinds of monthly job losses. I'm curious what you think of that. And then also what's going on with the amount of jobs that are white collar losses and what that means about kind of the impact of AI on our economy.
Yeah, it's a really difficult time to be analyzing what is happening in the labor market and what is happening in the economy, because we just don't have the data. I mean, we just had the government shutdown where we just had a full-on blackout. We also have Trump, who fired the BLS chief because he decided that the numbers were wrong. I mean, that was unbelievable. So we kind of have to rely on these alternative sources of data. What people are looking at is the ADP data. And the ADP data has not been great, but economists have reasons as to why they don't like it as much. It only measures the private sector. They have kind of a different methodology. It's not seen as fully representative of what is happening in the US. So the picture doesn't look great from that perspective. But then it's like, well, what else are we supposed to use? I mean, the White House just came out with a press release talking about inflation, and they were referencing data from DoorDash. So we're now relying on DoorDash, or the government is now relying on DoorDash, to supply us with a half-decent picture of what is actually happening in the economy, because we decided to shut the government down. In terms of the BLS, you mentioned there, like, how can we trust the BLS going forward, which I think is a fair question. There are two really important statistics that you have to understand with the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is supposed to be the agency which gives us the picture of this is what's happening in the economy. So the first really important statistic to note is that since COVID, the response rate to their employment survey, so this is the data that we get on like how we're doing in the job market, the response rate has fallen by 20%. So we're now working with about a fifth less information than we used to be working with. And there are all these questions of what actually happened there. So that's the first statistic. The second statistic is also important and probably more important, and that is that over the past 20 years, the budget for the BLS has fallen by 20%. And in that same time, the economy has more than doubled in size. So while the economy's gotten huge, more dynamic, more complex, the agency tasked with measuring that economy has basically seen its resources dry up. The workforce has also fallen by 20%. So this basically means we've got fewer people making calls, figuring out these surveys, the methodology isn't being upgraded, the technology isn't being upgraded. It all means that the data that we're getting is increasingly not great. And so what is so unbelievable then is that Trump's solution to that problem is, one, fire the BLS commissioner, and two, cut the funding even more. And that is what is about to happen. We're about to see $60 million more in funding cuts to the BLS. We're going to see headcount decline by another 10%. So it's a really difficult time because in a lot of ways, everyone has to kind of be their own economist at this point. Like, you can't trust the government, irrespective of whether you think that they're compromised because of capture from Trump. The reality is they don't really have the resources anymore. And we're continuing to deplete those resources. So yeah, you have to kind of go off of it based on vibes. We'll see what happens in the jobs numbers, but do we know if it's going to be even accurate as to what's actually happening? No, it's not really going to put a button on the question of what Trump has done to the labor market. We're not going to reach a conclusion when those jobs numbers come out. So it really is vibes based, and you kind of just have to go off of your own personal experience. If you go to the grocery store and prices are up,
you know what's up.
That's your answer.
The vibe session, as they call it on the internet. How do you think, kind of last note, we're losing all of these jobs to AI companies, Amazon, UPS, all shedding tens of thousands of jobs. How do you think that the Trump administration is handling the impact of AI on the economy?
Well, their policy position is...
You could stop. It's like...
Their policy position is, we're not going to touch this.
Right.
I mean, I think that their policy position is any form of regulation when it comes to AI means, oh, you don't like AI. You're a Luddite. You're afraid of technology. Right. You're afraid of being rich. That's kind of their position. That's at least what they're basically saying. What's really interesting, though, is they're not going to do anything about this, because the reality for the administration is that AI has been very, very good to Trump. And we talked about this with JP Morgan's chief investment strategist, who made this really great point. Usually, the way things go down is it's the public sector that bails out the private sector. Like, the banks have an issue in 2008, the government comes in, bails out the banks. This time it's the other way around, where actually the private sector is bailing out the public sector, and that is AI is bailing out Trump. Because without AI, 2025, from an economic perspective, would be a complete disaster. You'd have flat GDP growth, the stock market would be flat. More likely, the stock market would actually be negative if we didn't have AI. AI is literally juicing the entire stock market right now. And in addition to all of that, you'd have your grocery bills going up because of the tariffs that we're seeing. So it would be a total disaster. And so in a funny way, Trump doesn't really have an incentive to kind of get AI under control and sort of mitigate the externalities, because he needs to just pay his respects to AI, because that's what is keeping his economy afloat. This is literally the AI economy. And without it, Trump would be in a very bad position.
We've got the headline economy. We've got the AI economy. Ed, it was so good to have you. Come again soon, please.
I would love to. I love joining you. This was great. Thank you, Jesse.